so here we go. India world champions and how. Ashok and Shomik in Ahmedabad. I think they can hear me. If they can't, then we'll sort it out. They are just outside the stadium. The jinx is broken. India back-to-back world title. First team ever to do so at home. Ashok, Shomik, just go a little back. Just go a little back. Push back a little bit. Push back a little bit. Yeah, go back, go back.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. First thoughts, go for it. Shomik, yeah. First thoughts, please, both of you. If you can hear me,
Sorry, are we?
Yes, I can.
Go on. Yeah, first thoughts.
So the first thought is that India are always going to win the World Cup. That the once actually the final before the final was at Wankhede against, and once England were taken care of, New Zealand was always going to be a cakewalk. Irrespective, no disrespect to New Zealand, but they never had the wherewithal to pull off an upset in front of 100,000 fans at the Narendra Modi Stadium. And what a game what a match India played. This is called a perfect game right from the start. New Zealand made a few tactical errors up front, but that is not India's problem. You play what is in front of you. And from that point of view, Abhishek Sharma, come at the World Cup final, come at Abhishek Sharma. And I tip my hat to Gautam Gambhir also. Gautam Gambhir became the first Indian coach to win 2 ICC titles within a span of 12 months. ICC Champions Trophy, 50 over format, T20 World Cup. Gautam Gambhir divides opinion, but the credit must be given where the credit is due. And the execution part was the player. And special mention to Shivam Dube. He played a match-winning cameo.
From my side, I don't think you can. From my side, I don't think you can talk.
Ashok, one minute. Shomik mentioned about Gautam Gambhir. Let me make this clear. Gautam Gambhir becomes the first ever Indian cricketer to win the World Cup as player and coach. He won the World Cup as player. He wins the World Cup as coach. The first ever person to do so in Indian cricket. That is a gift to his trolls. Yes, Ashok, go for it.
Absolutely, a hat tip. Very, very credible, performance there. I think besides all the people that Shamik mentioned, I want to talk about Sanju Samson. That 89. I think if this innings does not silence critics, then nothing else will. And I think full marks to the Indian team. In the pre-show, I talked about a 250 score, and I really felt that India had peaked to a situation where if they had to bat on a wicket like this, then 250 was the number that they would chase. Given that score, and with the 100,000 crowd backing the team up, it is always going to be very, very difficult for any opposition. I think New Zealand just caved in, and I think India put in a masterful performance.
Ashok, be it Gautam Gambhir, be it Sanju Samson, be it Abhishek Sharma, they are byproducts of an excellent team culture. It is the team atmosphere. You think about Abhishek Sharma, even before the final, some experts spoke about dropping Abhishek and playing Rinku with Ishan Kishan opening with Sanju Samson. That siege mentality of Gautam Gambhir, that kept him insulated from the outside noise. Ahead of the match, pre-match, I was there, and at the next session, he batted very little. Gautam Gambhir didn't allow Abhishek to have a lengthy batting session. Rather, he had a lengthy conversation with Abhishek Sharma to ensure that the youngster is in the right headspace going into the final. Think about Sanju Samson. He was dropped on the heels of of a string of low scores, but he was never left out. He was dropped but never left out. So when he was brought back to the fold, he was ready to deliver. And eventually, over the last 3 games, Sanju Samson elevated himself to be one of the MVPs of this Indian team. It is about the team culture. It is about the leadership. And if you have a good leadership, the players will perform without the fear of failure.
Ashok, when you are talking about Sanju Samson, just also let's take Orko Nath's question. Jasprit Bumrah 4 for 15 in 4 overs after his semi-final. Let's put Shomik's words. Let's put a statue of Jasprit Bumrah in every cricket ground in the world and say, here is the greatest to have bowled the ball. Jasprit Bumrah 4 for 15 in a World Cup final. Ashok, once again.
I mean, I would say I am overcome with emotion. It feels blessed to come and watch Jasprit Bumrah bowl that spell that he did today. I think absolutely fantastic. Actually, is the only words that I can really say. I think he had the New Zealand batsmen all back to the wall, and they had no answers really with regard to the way he was bowling.
Shomit, let's decode the match one by one. You mentioned Abhishek Sharma. Ashok talked about Sanju Samson. Let's get to Ishan Kishan. That man came into the team late. Look at the innings he played. He did not have the power play, but he still had the power play. A 20 ball 50 without the power play did not let the momentum drop. Ishan Kishan was a masterclass. Shomit.
Absolutely. See, this tournament saw the coming of age of Ishan Kishan. Once again, that fearless brand of cricket. If you allow a player without looking over his shoulder, this is what you get. If Ishan Kishan would have been put under pressure, that this is your make or break, you would be judged by every game, but through your every performance. Uh, Ishan Kishan wouldn't have done that. See, success, one of success is something. Sustained success comes a, from the team culture. The Australian team had this culture in the first decade of this century. In the 80s, the Australian team had this culture. Now India have this culture. It is the culture where players, be it Ishan Kishan, be it Shivam Dube, Shivam Dube, he was sort of taken to the cleaners after 246 runs in 2 overs against Zimbabwe. But look how well he has contributed in a positive way. When the team culture is there, players just become numbers. They just become numbers. They just go there and perform. So that is it. It is about India's triumph. Speaks volumes of their team culture, of great leadership, and there are players, super players, excellent players who go out there and execute the plan. Ishan Kishan came from nowhere 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. He was not even in consideration, and he took to this World Cup like a duck to water. It speaks volumes
Ashok,
once again. It might sound cliched, but once again, I will repeat about the team culture.
Ashok, this is a super chat from Desi Murgi. অন্য টিম ভারত 250 করতে পারছে না, ভারত নকআউটে এসে কবজি ঘোরাতে ঘোরাতে 250 দেখবে এসো দেখাচ্ছি। Basically how India redeemed itself by scoring 250 in almost every knockout game. West Indies we got 200, semi-final 250, final 250, and how we showed the world what we are capable of. Ashok, on the Indian batting.
You know, at the end of this match, when we dissect it, everyone is going to talk about how India bossed the power play with 92 in the 6 overs. But I was very keenly observing how we started the innings. Do we know that in the first 3 overs we actually scored only 27 runs? It was actually 9 runs apiece. Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma, I'm sure Gautam Gambhir would have spoken to them. There was no rashness about the way they started that innings. There was a certain method to the madness. The first stroke that Abhishek Sharma played was to the offside, and then they accelerated. We also saw a phase where Sanju Samson kind of seemed to slow down, kind of gave the lead to Abhishek Sharma, and then when Abhishek Sharma got out, he and Ishan Kishan built that partnership of 100 runs. I think there was a clear thinking process that happened, and that's what led to that 250 score. It was not just sheer dazzling brilliance of 3 batsmen who scored 50 plus.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you are saying. In fact, the first over from Matt Henry was just 7. Second over, India was around 15 or so, and then they cut loose in the third over, and that's what told you. But let's come back. Let's come back a little bit, or rather, let's kind of move forward. We'll come back to this. We've got plenty of time. But Shomi, the point about team culture that you are making, I think, is a very important point. At a time when Jimmy Neesham picked up those 3 wickets, all of a sudden New Zealand felt, come on, let's push it to 220, maybe 230. Let's not get them to 250. Neesham was bowling well. All of a sudden, it was kind of New Zealand feeling their way back. And here comes Shivam Dube, right through the tournament. 17 ball 27 Pakistan, 64 Netherlands. A reasonably good innings South Africa, two boundaries against West Indies in Calcutta, semi-final 45, and now an 8 ball 26. I tweeted, is that cameo going to win India the game? Your thoughts on Shivam Dube and how Gautam Gambhir and Ajit Agarkar backed him?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that is how good leaders do. Once they have spotted, once they have decided that he could be our man from the job, the first thing is that to give him confidence. Look, I mean, once again I go back to that Zimbabwe game, and he was played, and Surya was played for giving him those 2 overs. But came when we came to the semi-final, Shivam Dube was required to bowl the last over. Surya and great teams, what happens? They don't live by the moment. They look long term. And Surya was planning for the final and semi-final. Gautam Gambhir was planning for the final and semi-final. The biggest transformation we have seen under Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav. Credit, massive credit to Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma to set up the foundation. But what we have seen under Gautam Gambhir and Surya Kumar Yadav is liberation, Indian cricket's liberation, and this is this is the dynamo of this liberation. Liberation is the word.
You know, Ashok, interesting that Shomik talks about liberation, talks about the fact that India comes into its own. This is the format that actually made Gautam Gambhir India's white ball coach. This is the format the man understands. Think about Gautam. Let's focus for a bit on Gautam. Red ball cricket, much to be done. Gautam Gambhir got castigated. Instead of giving in to pressure, he builds the white ball team because he knew the World Cup is down the corner, forgot about pressure, never got overawed, decided what he needed to do, pushed his way, got his team members, put a team together against everybody, and now this is this. A word on Gautam Gambhir. He gets trolled a lot, Ashok, a lot of trolling, but here's the man who can now say, Champions Trophy, Asia Cup, World Cup in 12 months. Take that.
Oh, absolutely. I think, when I remember back in Dubai during the Asia Cup, when he was addressing the press conference, there was very clear clarity in terms of what is to be done short term here and now and what is to be done with the World Cup in mind, in sight. And I remember that he was talking about how there is a line of sight to how you're going to pick the people who are going to play in the World Cup. And I think there is a clear thinking that he articulated. And absolutely right. He backed up the players that he wanted. He built this team brick by brick. And I think, that conviction clearly showed all through the way. And ultimately, the results have paid off. I think to back the players that you have picked, to give them that freedom, as Shomik says, liberation is absolutely the right term. Fully agree.
Yeah, I mean, and one has to say this. Shomik, a word you and I were discussing offline. Again, plenty of questions have been asked of Ajit Agarkar as chairman of selectors. Plenty. Why not Shreyas Iyer? Why not Yashasvi Jaiswal? Why not A? Why not B? Come on, for the chairman of the selection committee, he will say, we've given you the Champions Trophy, the 24 World Cup, this particular World Cup, the Asia Cup. What more does Ajit Agarkar need to do as chairman of selection committee?
In fact, Ajit Agarkar could claim to be India's greatest ever chief selector. I mean, if you go by the numbers, by the hard numbers, I'm not. See, it is subjective. Whether some might say that Dilip Vengsarkar is the best. I mean, I'm talking about over the last 20 years. I'm not going back. Not going farther back. Some might say Dilip Vengsarkar did that, bringing back Saurabh Ganguly to the fold, settling an unsettled team, settling a fractured dressing room. His presence helped that. But you cannot. Stats don't lie. Simple. So going by the hard numbers, and you have mentioned four elite trophies.
True.
4 elite trophies. And how do you counter that? And you take a 2-2 series draw where all the Galacticos were not there, and he had to put together a young team that went to England and returned with a very creditable 2-2 draw. You add to that, and Ajit Agarkar, I think he deserves a massive amount of credit.
Ashok, Shomik, both of you, Would you now, when you look back at the campaign, many times we said this wasn't the perfect campaign. Unlike the 23 World Cup, India was winning everything, smashing every opposition. That was the perfect campaign till the final. Here, you lost to South Africa. You almost stumbled against, say, England. You were there and not there against the Netherlands. So this was the campaign that kind of gathered momentum. Was the South Africa lost the perfect wake up call, you reckon? Sanju Samson at the top, Tilak Varma in the middle order. Did that kind of give India the thing saying, hello, get it right because now you will tend to falter? Was that the South Africa lost the real wake up call, Ashok?
I think when you go through a tournament where you don't lose a single match, you're not able to identify the chinks in your armor if there are any. You kind of gloss over them and you kind of continue with the momentum and you don't really pause and figure out what you need to do. In that sense, my argument would be that the South Africa loss was clearly a wake up call. But I think all through the tournament, this team kept tweaking some of the things that needed to be done. Whether it is, for example, high catching, and I'm not saying we have kind of closed the deal and sealed the deal there yet, but there has been steady improvement and work that's been done. If you look at, for example, three left-handers at the top of the order, vulnerable to off spinners, they fixed that by bringing in Sanju Samson, and that got sorted out. Tilak Varma kind of struggling a little bit, moved him down the order. What a transformation! Ishan Kishan, of course, I mean, he's in the form of his life. Today, that flat-batted six that he hit, I think it was of Lockie Ferguson. That I think was in a way the short of domination, if you ask me, short of a man who's commanding batting today. I think if you look at Varun Chakravarti, I mean, the team had the conviction and the courage to say, we believe in this guy, we stuck with him. Today, Tim Seifert scored that 50 odd, he was looking the most dangerous. He got the breakthrough as well. I mean, on catching, in fact, the point I'd like to make is that today I think Ishan Kishan actually, on a light-hearted note, if Akhtar is Air Axar, I think that eye of air was taken away by Ishan Kishan today.
Ishan Kishan
I think so. My point is simple. You need to have courage, you need to have conviction, and you need to keep tweaking. So this tournament has seen a steady, credible set of improvements that the team has done, and the confidence that they'd walk away is not just about this final or having won it. It's about having won it with complete domination.
Ashok, I would say I will not call it a wake up call, the defeat against South Africa. I would rather say it was a blessing in disguise because it forced India to do a tactical tweak. Because until then, Indian batting was top order, was a bit one dimensional. Three left handers at the top, and it was getting predictable for the opposition bowlers. Now, once Sanju Samson came, that tactical tweak, and it forced the opposition bowlers to alter their plans. That line is very, very important in cricket, and also the length. Different batsmen, different length. Sanju, a different length for Sanju, a different length for Abishek, different length for Ishan. So all together, it's that tactical tweak. And once again, you need to have that flexibility to make that tactical tweak. And that separates a good leader. Separates a good team management from an average team management. That is what we call tactical nous, and that India showed that tactical nous, and the South Africa defeat to South Africa prompted that, and it was a blessing in disguise.
Fair point, fair point. There's another super chat. Let's take that. Happy birthday, Boryada. What a great birthday gift for you and 1.5 billion fans. This will shut off many GG haters. We're ready to ride GG Kohatao, Ashwin Kulao. Congratulations from Nomad Tibet, who's a regular viewer of ours, Nomad Tibet. Thanks for that super chat. Thanks for the wish. But Ashok, this is a fair point. I mean, for me, massive birthday gift. One couldn't have asked for more. Maybe all I will say is Lakshya Sen, had he recovered fully, I'm a greedy person. I would have wanted the All England title also. That could have been the icing on the cake or the cherry on top. Having said that, I'll take this one. The Ahmedabad jinx is broken. Ashok, can you tell me, you wanted to write about the fans. Can you give me a sense of the spectacle? What did you witness? What did Shumik witness? Ahmedabad as a center has also redeemed itself. Ashok.
Oh, completely. When I landed up there today, I think the fans started pouring in from 12 o'clock. So from 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock, which is 7 hours before, the energy started building. And I think when we were doing the pre-show, when we were doing the 4 o'clock show today, it was so palpable that we were feeding off that energy. I could feel, that my enthusiasm was going up just looking at the crowds coming in at the stadium. It was not about fans, it was not about the crowd, it was like a living, moving organism. A huge organism which was kind of reverberating to the game that was going on. They were supporting, they were cheering, they were communicating to the players. At one point of time when Surya Kumar Yadav got out and things seemed to go a little slow, there was a little bit of a slow clapping that the crowd said, signifying that we need to accelerate and get to that 250. You're going to miss the trick if you kind of wind up at 220. Or that matter, for example, whenever they were hitting a 6 or a 4, there was always a support. Good fielding was being supported. I think when Axar came in and got that breakthrough, I think there was a lot of cheering that was going on. And I think in many ways the fans were alive today. It was not like a static crowd. They were actually vibing with the players and actually lending, almost like support in terms of a player behind the scenes.
Ashok, Shomik, Sanju Samson, player of the tournament. The man did not even start the tournament. He wins player of the tournament, very rightly so. Virtual quarterfinal 90, then the semi-final another 90, now in the final another 90. Incredible 3 matches. Now he can justly say, I want to be the Chief Minister of Kerala. I want to be whatever he wants to. Sanju Samson will now have in Kerala, in every village, there will be a Sanju Samson statue. He has now become Kerala's honorary ambassador for life. Shomik, your thoughts on him winning the player of the series?
Very happy for him. Great bloke, fantastic human being, fantastic cricketer. Very happy for him. But I mean, all credit to Sanju Samson, and I tip my hat to him. But as far as I'm concerned, my man of the series is man of the tournament is Jasprit Bumrah. Without Bumrah, India wouldn't have won this tournament. Sanju Samson led the foundation. But if you go back to that England game, who was the difference? Jasprit Bumrah was the difference. If you go back to that West Indies game, West Indies being restricted under 200, and West Indies scoring something in the region of 225. Who was the difference? Jasprit Bumrah was the difference. And this final 4 wickets. As far as I'm concerned, my man of the player of the series, the player of the tournament is Jasprit Bumrah. But no, I mean, absolutely the credit where the credit is due. Sanju Samson has got it. So, I mean, I put my hands together to applaud, and it speaks volumes for his resilience and strength of character. Because once he was dropped, he could have lost motivation. He didn't do that, and he was always ready to contribute. It speaks about how resilient, and it speaks about his strength of character, all put together. Absolutely fair. Well done, Sanju Samson. But once again, Jasprit Bumrah is my player of the tournament.
I'm going to take a moment here to violently disagree because I think Sanju Samson brings a murderous classiness to the way he plays. Once he got to that 50, couple of sixes that he hit, it was sheer class
Yes.
with that murderous instinct that he played. And I don't know if he's going to become the chief minister or not, but Kerala is a small state, has produced a very limited set of players on the big stage. Keralites are big fans of Messi, but I do hope that they finally found somebody who can actually replace the global best when it comes to the state's playing athletes.
Shomik, you'll be happy. Jasprit Bumrah got the player of the match. So Sanju Samson, player of the series, and Jasprit Bumrah for his 4 wicket haul, player of the match. That's what he got. There is no question that Jasprit Bumrah is absolutely legendary. Can you play some of Devashish's photographs, please? Let's show some of what is going on. Incredible visuals that Devashish said has just clicked. Neil, play some visuals as well while we keep chatting. But Shumik, yeah, you take your 5 minutes, Neil. There's no problem. We'll continue for a while. Shumik, after the semi-final, when India literally batted England out of the contest, Mitchell Santner wins the toss, and despite there being not much dew yesterday, decides to bowl first. Was that a wrong call? Was he a little sure? Did he think that we can chase anything down based on the semi-final? But the Twin Allen innings happens once in a lifetime. How do you look back at Mitchell Santner's call?
In fact, I and Ashok were discussing before the match that that Finn Allen innings will not happen. He will not be able to do that against like the likes of Bumrah and Axar Patel. So no disrespect to him, he did it against a world-class bowling attack. All said and done, in that game, South Africa captain Aiden Markram missed a trick by not bringing on Keshav Maharaj within inside the power play. That mistake was not repeated by Surya Kumar Yadav today. Akshar Patel was brought in inside the power play. Excellent captaincy, number one. And as far as Mitchell Santner is concerned, he has been a letdown throughout the tournament tactically as a captain. In the sense, this was not in this was not a case in isolation. See, the problem with this teams with teams like New Zealand and specifically the coaches they are very data driven. They look at the fact that how many times teams at this venue have won the game chasing the target. But a bilateral series is completely different from a World Cup final is completely different from playing a bilateral T20I. So that the pressure of 100,000, you put runs on the board, and totally. You started off well with two bowlers. You gave Glenn Phillips one over up front, and you are trying to, first of all, dropping McConaughey was a disaster. The way he got out both South African southpaws in the semi-final. How did you drop him against Abishek Sharma, followed by Ishan Kishan at number 3? That was a disaster. But once again, this game was not a case in isolation. As far as Mitchell Santner is concerned, if you go back to the England game, the game sat in New Zealand's dugout, but he gave that 17th over to Glenn Phillips rather than bringing on a fast bowler, and there he lost the game. So his captaincy was pretty ordinary, very average. New Zealand are a very likable team. Big respect for them. They are a very consistent team, but this is the reason why they haven't won a World Cup yet. They lack the World Cup winning pedigree.
Yeah, I mean, I also felt Ashok the call the call to send India in was kind of a reflection on the semi-final. But that Finn Allen could have been out 3 times in the 7 balls that he faced or 10 balls. Well, that catch was dropped by Shivam Dube. Then he played that of Axar Patel. So Finn Allen, 33 ball 100 cannot prompt a captain's call. Your thoughts on New Zealand's approach? I thought they were pretty bad today.
Yeah, I was actually waiting to see curiously as to what the strategy would be to kind of put India into bat, and that too on the wicket. We saw the wicket which had a little bit of grass which kind of held the soil together.
Yeah.
But it was a fast, bouncy wicket. The ball was coming onto the bat, and it was quite easy for the batsman to get it away. I mean, either you kind of go in with an off-spin attack, which is McConaughey or Glenn Phillips, opening the bowling in the power play, etc. We didn't see that happening. Matt Henry was not so effective. Jacob Duffy got hit, and we saw Lockie Ferguson going for 48 runs in 2 overs. So I'm not sure what the thought process was. It was only when Jimmy Neesham came in that they got some semblance of control, and if I'm not wrong, he got those 3 wickets. So with a team like this, and with the kind of ability to score 200 without batting an eyelid, you need to come in with a clear thought process. And what they didn't bargain for was that I think the crowd and the atmosphere, if you allow to India to get away to a 220 plus score and then to defend that becomes almost humanly difficult.
And Ashok, it's not only the planning part, execution part also. If you look at the difference between New Zealand bowling and the Indian bowling, in the Indian bowlers executed their slower deliveries on a perfect length, the right area, very, very well used the slower deliveries. And the New Zealand bowlers, the majority of them, except the first 3 overs from Jimmy Neesham, they basically hard on that. And that was the basic major difference between the bowling of the two sides. Execution part also, they failed, and maybe that was down to pressure again.
There's another super chat from Nomad Tibet. Rev Sports team, thank you for covering excellent World Cup campaign. Every one of you did a fabulous job. Hope to see you in California for Olympics coverage. Firstly, Nomad Tibet, let me make this very clear. You are our lucky charm. You were there in America from day one with Devashish and Ishan, and we won the World Cup. You have once again come back, and we have won this World Cup. So please be with us. I mean, you are definitely a fan who is a lucky charm for India. And in that Olympics in LA, I hope we will win 10 plus medals because we will be there in about 7, 8 of us. Don't even bother. We will have people in every venue, but we will also need fans like you to come forward and back us. So that's going to be as important. Fans like you are the lifeblood of Indian sport. We are playing some visuals that Devashish Sen has taken. Excellent visuals, excellent visuals. Ashok, we also need to talk a little bit about Bapu. Bapu in Ahmedabad, Bapu against England. That man flies under the radar because he's not a brand. But Bapu, last World Cup, 41 ball 47. Axar Patel is an absolute champion. Let's don our hat to that man. Top player.
I think you read my mind because I was just thinking that one of the things that when I'm going to be writing my piece tomorrow is going to be about what I saw with regard to the fans today. There was a time when Axar got that breakthrough today. Suddenly, 3, 4 people on the stands around me, they pulled out a piece of paper from their pocket and started showing it around. And all of them had the same photocopy of Bapu, clad in the visage of the father of the nation, saying Bapu's day today. I mean, that man, I think you're right. He flies under the radar. He's also got a very silent, very committed fan following, which is very, very evident in Ahmedabad. I think it was a fantastic backing that he got, and I think Ahmedabad really loves him as a player. I've always maintained that he is every captain's delight. The guy who can come in, create that breakthrough. He can bowl in the power play. He can bowl later on in the innings. He can come in and bat. I think he's and the catches that he took right in the last match. I think truly exemplary performance. He's under celebrated, but I think he deserves full kudos.
Absolutely. And also, as far as batting is concerned, when your team is in crisis, he is your floater. He can be sent in at number 4. He can be sent in at number 5. You're absolutely right. He is the captain's delight, and he slips under the radar. And once again, we still have a lot of knowledgeable fans who value his contribution, who value Axar Patel should always be in this form. He should always be one of the first names on the team sheet. India made a blunder not playing him against South Africa, but the course correction was quick, and that was the need of the hour.
Neil, can you remove the photographs now and put Shomik and Ashok back full frame again, please? Yeah, that's keep this, keep this. This is better. No, keep the half up. That was better. Yeah, keep this. The point that you just made about course correction, and that's also very important. Okay, let me take a couple of comments here. In such a heavy situation, this wing cheers are up. Okay, Proshenjit, I understand. Ashok, Proshenjit is from your part of the world in Dubai. In such a heavy situation we are in, this win cheers us up some good amidst difficult times. Ashok, you somehow managed to come from Dubai. A lot of Indians in the Middle East, this win becomes a salve for a troubled period. This is what sport does. It gives you a lift. Ashok, your thoughts.
I was sitting there today and watching this entire match, and I was wondering whether, what do people kind of come in for on an occasion like this, and what is the sentiment with which they go back, and what role does it play in their lives? And you're absolutely right. It is not a picnic or a family outing that they're coming to enjoy an evening. It is not a substitute for a movie or a performance that they're going for. It is really about coming, and it is about reflecting their aspirations. It's like projected onto the team, and when the team does well, they feel that they have achieved it. And so one of the comments that I had actually put down on our working group was that I really felt that the fans are not just fans; they come there to play a very active role to make the Indian team win. So when they go back and they talk to their families and to the relatives, they're not saying that we were there to watch India play. They say we came and made India win. And I think that is the sentiment that I got today. As far as Dubai goes, I am lucky that I managed to come in here. Even more luckier that I managed to come here and watch the match in Ahmedabad. And I'm sure that there will be millions of fans across the GCC who, during these tough conditions, would have taken a lot of solace watching the win today. Things are going to be muted there in terms of celebration. But I think this is what you need in life. I think sport actually gives you reasons to celebrate, not just in terms of excellent performance or in terms of dominating New Zealand in terms of a victory like this, but it raises the human spirit, I think. And I'm not, making a statement in the air. I genuinely felt that people kind of will go back today and say they feel uplifted with regard to the
And
result.
Ashok, sport, especially cricket, mirrors life, and it is a great leveler. You go back to Harry Brook and his swagger before the semi-final, and then that drop catch came. He probably not only dropped the semi-final, but also the cup with that drop catch of Sanju Samson. And once again, cricket was a great leveler. India came to this World Cup with a bit of overconfidence that the way we have been playing over the past 2 years, this is our World Cup to lose. And they got a they were given a couple of wake up calls during the group stage, but that hammering against South Africa shared your overconfidence. Shared your overconfidence. Once again, cricket group served as a great leveler, and it happened at the right time, and that just helped India completely turn around their campaign.
Absolutely, and there are many. When I look back, and it is now kind of, we've done the match analysis and we've done all of that, but let's also try and look back at the campaign. Ashok, Tilak Varma, after the first 2 3 matches, you and I were there in Colombo. We both remember. Shomik was there in Colombo all through. Shomik will remember. Tilak Varma got a lot of flack, a lot of criticism, a lot of abuse for his number three this thing. But then the moment he went down, and also on the field, some incredibly important catches from Tilak Varma. Today, Surya Kumar Yadav made sure that Tilak Varma was switched from long off to long on, where he caught that catch of Finn Allen. Tilak Varma at number 5 was an absolute revelation. Gautam Gambhir makes this point that smaller contributions are as important as the lead acts. That's how a collective is formed. Shomik Ashok, a word on Tilak Varma as well.
Absolutely. And once again, see, I will keep coming back to the team culture. This is the thing that allows players like Tilak Verma. The thing is that, and once again, that change, that shift in mentality. Because for the first few matches, India didn't. The pitches that were used, that was a bit too paced and not conducive to stroke play, stuff like that. But then a switch was flicked. And India, it dawned on the Indian team that look, over the last 2 years, we have been successful playing a certain brand of cricket. So, irrespective of the conditions, why will we took a departure from that brand of cricket? We will go gung ho. That is our USP. We will go gung ho. And Tilak Verma was a part of that. Was a part of that philosophy. And Tilak Varma was not only Tilak Varma, other players were also carried by that philosophy. Once again, it is down to the leadership group. Once again, at the end of the day, be it football, be it cricket, whatever the sport is, it is about the team culture. A team, when the team culture is great, your team succeeds. When it is not there, your team doesn't.
Agree.
Okay, Shomik and Ashok, I'll let you go. What I'll ask you to both do is record a video between the two of you. Shomik, you and Abishek Sharma. Ashok, record your understanding of the whole spectacle. Y'all can go. Gargi joins me as well, so I will take some reaction. She's giving me some crowd shots, so I'll go there. So you and Shomik have a word with Trisha and take that over. Neil, full frame, please, of the Ahmedabad visuals. Full frame Ahmedabad visuals. Keep this. Gargi, first reaction, incredible game, absolutely incredible game. In the sense one-sided, but if you're an Indian fan, it could not have been a better night. Gargi, over to you.
Moria, I'm going to show you the crazy visuals outside of the Narendra Modi Stadium here tonight. Half of the crowd, more than half of the crowd is still inside because the presentation hasn't been done yet. The ceremony hasn't been done yet. India hasn't been handed the medals and the trophy, but look at the amount of people that are celebrating tonight. The crowd was incredible during that winning moment. And Moria, I'd like to make a statement here. This was not about proving, this was for the team India. This was not about proving to anyone that they deserve to win this. This was not about, defending that title. This was about a new, young Indian team. This was about getting things wrong and then getting things right. This was about showing each other faith, showing the teammate the camaraderie and the belief that these players and the management had in each other. And that was what this entire campaign was about. And this is one of the biggest statements that the Indian team has made. So much went wrong, so much went right, and finally at the end of the tournament, India have been crowned the champions.
Yeah, and very convincingly so. I mean, New Zealand did not really stand a chance after halfway. Neil, put the visuals. Yeah, I understand StreamYard always kind of does this, that it gets to one person, but try and keep the Ahmedabad visuals as much as you can, Neil. But Gargi, when I come to the game, and I see the quarterfinal, the virtual quarterfinal, the semi-final, final. By the way, let's start with Abhishek Sharma a little bit. We have been continuously talking about Abhishek Sharma. Imagine the amount of pressure that man was under. This innings is as much about Gautam Gambhir as about Abhishek Sharma. But to come good and a 19-ball 50 in a final, tell me about that. You watched it from the press box. Abhishek Sharma stood up in a final in a manner, few do, pressure. That's what he overcame. Incredible knock from the man. Gargi.
Boria, is that for me?
Yeah, that's for you. Abhishek Sharma.
Sorry?
Abhishek Sharma, 50 under incredible pressure. Abhishek Sharma.
That was such a statement, wasn't it, Boria? Giving that last over to Abhishek Sharma, obviously the game was long done. But at the same time, it showed you just how much faith that this management has on Abhishek Sharma, the way that he came good in the final. And Surya Kumar Yadav, he's been asked many questions about Abhishek Sharma, his form. Are there any concerns? Do you think he'll be able to score good runs in this tournament? And every single time, no matter who it was, Sitanshu Kotak, Mone Mokal, Surya Kumar Yadav, the answer was always the same. Abhishek Sharma has carried this team for a year. Now it's time for us to carry him. And tonight he carried India into the finals, into the finals, and now over the line. That power play, that Abhishek Sharma classic power play with firepower, with aggressiveness, ultra aggressiveness. It was the signature Abhishek Sharma knock that we had been waiting for in this entire tournament, and it finally happened. And I think Abhishek Sharma will go home and have a good night. Not today. Tomorrow he'll have a good night's sleep. Tonight everyone will celebrate. But yesterday as well, Boria, his father showed up at the practice session. He was there for the entire 2 hours that India practiced. He was watching intently from the boundary line. And I will now like to shed some light on the 40-minute long conversation that Gautam Gambhir and Abhishek Sharma had yesterday in that practice session. He did not even spend that much time in the nets as much as he did talking to Gautam Gambhir. And that's the incredible thing about this team, right? We've been saying this, that they may not be as transparent as we want. They may not tell us or give us as many insights as we want. But one thing about this team, they take accountability and they back each other up.
100%. There are two questions, super chats quickly. Let's take Jeet. Let's be honest, nothing matches the emotion of winning a World Cup final like what we witnessed in Barbados. A final worthy of a final. Jeet, you don't choose your opponent. You are there to win a World Cup final, and you won a World Cup final in front of 120,000 people. That's pressure. That's why this was worthy of a final. Imagine if you're Abhishek Sharma, what you did under pressure. That's worthy of a final. Imagine if you're a Gautam Gambhir, what you did under pressure. That's worthy of a World Cup final, Jeet. Greg Chappell. Now India won't overrate captaincy as skill. Even Sky now winning World Cup, winning captain. 5 World Cups, no match winning, 50 versus big team. Don't call Sammy Finch as GOAT. Come on. I mean, I'm tired of this kind of nonsense. Surya Kumar Yadav started that tournament with an incredibly good innings. Kept the team together, played an important knock against Pakistan, played an important knock against the West Indies. So there are multiple contributions, played an important knock against Zimbabwe and did the job. That's why this is a team. Today when he came out to bat, this was his time to go for it. I'm tired of these kind of questions and these kind of super chats. They're complete, utter nonsense. That's what they are. Gargi, I'll come back to some important facts. One, Jasprit Bumrah, player of the match, Sanju Samson, player of the tournament. Now, that guy did not even start the tournament. A word on Sanju Samson and what this will mean for Sanju Samson, the player, forever underachiever. Now, all of a sudden, consistency and talent have come together for Sanju Samson.
Sanju Samson, what a tale, right? What a tale of life, what a tale of sport, what a tale of what can go wrong and what can go right once again, because only at the beginning of this tournament, Sanju Samson was not even in the scheme of things. We keep forgetting that. The fact that he came back into the team under the circumstances that he did, it was a sleight of hand by fate. It was divine intervention, the way that it happened. Surya Kumar Yadav kept talking about the fact that when Sanju was not in the best of forms, he worked so hard. And he said when he was not in the team, he worked harder than versus when he was in the team. And I was looking at that. I was keeping an eye on how Sanju Samson was practicing, how he was training when he was not in the team, and that impressed him, which made him come back into the team. And we've been talking about Sanju Samson and the fact that he doesn't grab onto opportunities. But boy, oh boy, look what he's been able to do. 3 back-to-back games, 3 back-to-back incredible performances. It takes some real mental temperament. It takes some real courage, some real steel to come out there and do what Sanju Samson has been able to do in these 3 games. Hats off to Sanju. From being nowhere in the scheme of things to being the player of the series, I can't. Player of the tournament, I can't imagine what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely that. And Greg, I'll answer this. Was a runner ball almost. Clearly, you don't understand cricket at all. And that's fine. I mean, not everybody does. He was captaining that side. Sanju was at the other end. Him staying out there, putting that partnership together was as important in that 190 chase. And from 45 for 2, that partnership took India to 99. I know my cricket. So let's agree to disagree with humility and modesty. I'm saying let's agree to disagree because your understanding of cricket and my understanding of cricket are profoundly and fundamentally different. Gandhi, let's come back to 2 other people. The 2 other people, one, Gautam Gambhir. Gautam Gambhir will now say in 2 years, I've got a Champions Trophy, I've got an Asia Cup, and I've got a World Cup. Take that for his trolls. Gautam Gambhir. Gandhi, if you can hear me.
I'm sorry, I was just dealing with some police people, and as usual, they are asking me to go somewhere else. Then the police over there will say go somewhere else, but no, it's all sorted now. Gautam Gambhir, the only Indian head coach to win 2 ICC trophies. How do you, and from the depths of despair, because of the amount of criticism that Gautam Gambhir was getting, he got a lot of things wrong, let's be honest, and we criticized him for it, right? Never once were we saying that it's all goody-goody, that nothing's going wrong. Things were going wrong, but Gautam Gambhir was able to be courageous. We know that he's known for taking bold calls. He was able to take some bold calls, change with the philosophy that the Indian team has stepped into the white ball format. Be it having ultra aggressive openers, the left-hander cluster at the top, left-right combinations. We've talked about number 3 to number 8 being absolutely versatile and flexible, and anyone could come in at any point. All of these calls were unheard of for a long time, and these kids are having some fun. 1 second, let me talk to them.
Yeah, go for it.
India! India जीत जाएगी.
इंडिया देखा, बोला था ना इंडिया जीत जाएगी.
जीत गई. मजा आ गया. बिल्कुल ही. Everyone's having some great fun.
By the way, you said Gautam Gambhir only coach to win 2 ICC trophies. Gautam Gambhir is the only cricketer to win an ICC trophy as World Cup as a player and as a coach. The first ever person to win an ICC trophy as a player and as a coach. That's a gift to his souls.
That's what I'm saying, right? That some things Gautam Gambhir has done brilliantly with this team. I think one of the best things that he's been able to do is the inculcation of a steely mindset, and the belief and the belief in clarity as well. There's a lot of clarity in this team. There are a lot of conversations that happen behind the scenes, and as Surya Kumar Yadav was highlighting in the last pre-match press conference as well, that I don't talk much in this dressing room. I'm not the person who goes out there and gives a lot of pep talks or something like that. I have given everybody freedom to say what they want, to express what they want, and that makes this team what it is. Because when you give these players, because none of them are kids, right? None of them are amateurs. They're creme de la creme of Indian cricket. And when you give them the freedom to express their opinions, this is a team that functions on autopilot when all of the players are doing what they want to do. Anyway,
What was that? What was
okay.
that?
What?
What was that?
No. Some crowds are just sometimes a little, misbehave. So that's all. All good though.
Yeah, I'll let you go. I'll let you go because I'll let you go. Go inside and do the presentation. Enjoy the presentation, and then we will catch up again. Let the crowd disperse, and we'll catch up again. I'll take the show. You go in. You go in. No problem. You go in. Thanks for joining us. So there's Gargi Raut joining from Ahmedabad. Ashok and Shobik also joined from Ahmedabad. The last few minutes on the show, what has been incredible about this campaign, one has to say, is India's course correction. India played as a collective. India kept playing as a collective, and that's what is most important. India played as a team right through the tournament. Like I said, Gautam Gambhir, incredible, absolutely incredible effort from the coach to keep the flock together under tremendous criticism. So all of these things taken together, it has been a night to remember for Indian cricket. The first team to win back-to-back World Cups, T20 World Cups, the first team to win a T20 World Cup on home soil, and Gautam Gambhir, the first ever cricketer to win a World Cup as player, and now win a World Cup, T20 World Cup as coach. Hats off to Gautam Gambhir. We will be back with Gargi Raut and Shubhan possibly after the presentation. Lots going on. We will look at our website, read the pieces. Plenty to happen tomorrow. Plenty of content to come your way. For the moment, that's all I had. Thank you very much for watching.